Hello, and a very warm welcome to Celebrating You. And I am so honoured and happy to have Emily Hall with us today, who has actually helped me personally. And she's absolutely brilliant. I want you to hear from her about her story. She is the naked lady. She helps people to feel comfortable naked. A mean feat, but it's possible. And Emily is a weight management expert. A very warm welcome to you, Emily.
Thanks, Maria. It's really lovely to be here and to be sharing a space with you. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too. And I and everybody with challenges in the weight area would really love to hear from you and know how it is that you got to be doing this kind of work.
So I'm a rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a hypnotherapist, a CBT and NLP practitioner, and coach. So a lot of things all in one. So my clients, they get literally the best of everything. But the reason I'm so successful in what I do is because I change the thought. Lots of diets, they're not about changing the thought, and what they don't do is get to the root cause of the issue that you're suffering with. So you're constantly on this losing battle. You're using willpower when there is an emotional underlying reason. So what I do is get to that emotional underlying reason through hypnotherapy, through rapid transformational therapy, dig out what there is underneath, because there will always be an emotional reason about why we overeat, get to the root cause of that. And once you understand why you behave in the way you do, you can fix it. But the other thing that I do is that I teach clients to have a much better relationship with themselves, because, and I've learned from experience, people can get rid of the weight, but if they don't actually like themselves, then it's kind of onto a losing battle. So I do two things. I work with the subconscious to get to the root cause and find out why people behave in the way that they do, and free you from it forever. But I also help clients at a conscious level to have a much better dialogue with themselves, to actually start liking themselves, because we all deserve to be liked. And that's why I became known as the naked lady, because I make people feel good about themselves naked. They get rid of the weight, but they also actually start to like and love themselves. And so many of my clients, pretty much all of them, come to me and they just don't like themselves. So it's transformational.
That's really powerful. That's really powerful. I mean, I'm just going to talk about me now. It's supposed to be about you, but actually I can just really second that. I've had your treatments, and I can absolutely guarantee that that's what's happened. Actually, that has been my experience. And I just want to put the ball back in your court again and just ask you, have you had any kind of weight challenges yourself? What has led you to come to be in this line of work?
Yeah, I mean, I've had every single challenge going. I've had weight challenge, I've had anxiety, I've had depression, I've had addiction. And I think that's why my clients really like me, because I've literally done everything. But what I didn't realize was, because I was doing all of those things, because I actually really didn't like myself. The way I came into this line of work, I've had a massive actually for many years about the mind. I did a psychology A-level way back when. I won't say how many years ago that was. And actually that was my first experience of hypnosis. As part of that psychology A-level, a part of the course, we were hypnotized. And I was kind of hooked at that point, because it really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't, with the watch and all that. It was just a greater form of relaxation. I remember coming out of the class just feeling really nicely relaxed, feeling really good about myself. And then I kind of left it there for a bit. I went on weirdly to do an accountancy degree. So yeah, what is that all about? I think I just thought I was going to make loads of money and retire by the age that I am. And that just didn't happen. But then I kind of moved into business change management and communications, which is all about understanding people. So everything I've done in my career has been really mostly around understanding people. And during my corporate career, I myself had seen hypnotherapists for different kind of things, for weight, for confidence, for all sorts of things. And then in 2011, I trained as a hypnotherapist myself. Because you know, I'd seen hypnotherapists over the years. They'd been really helpful. And actually it was a hypnotherapist who said to me, you would be really good at this. And so I thought, why not? You know, I was unhappy in my career. Really, I didn't realize at the time that one of the biggest reasons for depression is not doing what your heart's desire is. So I retrained as a hypnotherapist. I trained in London for that with a really, really great college. And that's when I kind of learned about how to get to the root cause of the issue with people. So we covered that. And then I found that my type of therapy was becoming a bit more like the amazing Marissa Peer. I don't know if you know her, but she's the founder of Rapid Transformational Therapy. So I found that I was doing the regression, going back in time to find out why people behave in the way that they do. But I was doing it over a series of weeks. And Marissa's therapy, Rapid Transformational Therapy, is quite an intense therapy, and you do it all in one session, which actually makes more sense because the client doesn't then go away and think about what they've done and then come back for another regression. And so it doesn't get elongated. It all gets done in one single session. So that's when I retrained as a Rapid Transformational Therapy practitioner. And actually, I have to say, since I've done that, my results have been even better. And I now combine that with the coaching as well. So teaching people at a conscious level how to have a different dialogue with themselves. And you know yourself, you've been through the program, you know what the results are like. So yeah, it just has phenomenal success. So that's kind of, how I came to be, really. Lots of issues myself. So I really, really do understand when clients come through the door. I know I've been there. So I think they like that.
Well, I think that's so authentic though, because there's just some sort of belief going on, like if I go to somebody for help, I perceive that they've got it all sorted and they're like this superhuman that's just the coach or the expert or the therapist. And I find it so heartening when they're actually another human. And they've been through the same thing or go through the same thing. And I just think we're all in this boat called life together, especially now that the world has so rapidly transformed, hasn't it?
Yeah,
itself.
You know, I think it would be quite difficult to do a job like this if you hadn't been through those things. And when I look back, I mean, I've been through some pretty grueling challenges, let's say. But had I not been through those things, I don't think I would be able to dialogue with my clients in quite the same way. And they maybe not, you know, feel quite as comfortable with me as they do.
So let's do a little bit of myth busting. Most people I hear are scared of hypnosis and they think that you're going to brainwash me. Something.
Yeah.
So can you shed some light on the actual process and what actually happens and how much control or little control do I as the client have?
Yeah, that's really, really good question. So yeah, you're right. People do think, as I did, you know, all those years ago, that it's, you know, with this watch and I can make you cluck like a chicken. It's totally untrue. So with hypnosis, you are in control at all times. It's just, all it is a greater form of relaxation. So if you drive from A to B every day and you get to B and you kind of think, oh, I don't remember getting here, that's all relaxation is. You're just zoned out. When you zone out in front of the TV, you're aware, but you're not aware. And that's all that hypnosis is. You're just very, very calm, very relaxed. And once you're in that state, it's something called a theta state, where your brain waves slow down. They slow right down, and it's the state that children operate in. You are far more open to suggestion. You're far more open to ideas. So when I give you nice, positive suggestions, your mind will lock onto it. It's just a lovely way of being. You are totally in control at all times. I can't get you to do anything that you don't want to do. You are absolutely in control.
I'm feeling hypnotized already, actually, just by because your voice was slowing down, and I was going no. And
yeah, I'm obviously just getting
you've
into
got
the zone.
well, I do obviously listen to your hypnosis every morning, so like you're in my head every day anyway, darling.
And you know, the great thing about hypnosis is when you're in hypnosis, the critical part of you switches off. So we've all got this horrible critical part of us that just says, you can't do this, you can't do that. But in hypnosis, that part switches off. So I could say to you now, okay, Maria, you're going to now go and speak in front of 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And your response at this conscious level might be, there's no way I could do that because I'm going to forget my words, I'm going to go red, I'm just going to stutter.
Faint.
Under hypnosis, that part of you switches off and the mind locks on and thinks, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I could do that. I could absolutely do that. You know, if you think about kids, they operate in this theta state. They think they can do anything. If you ask a kid, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they say, I want to be a pirate. There's no kind of, I can't be a pirate because of X, Y, Z. I want to be an astronaut. Well, and there's no, with kids, they don't have that critical part that says, but I'm not going to get the right grades in physics. I'm not going to get the maths. So it's a fantastic way to just have that critical part switch off and make your mind open to suggestion.
That's insane. I didn't know that. That's really enlightening, actually. Before I carry on, can I ask you a tinsy-wincy favour? Would you be so kind as to take your earrings off?
Oh,
lovely though they are. They're
Sorry.
bashing against the headphones and it's going, and I've really just realised that. But you're beautifully, your words are so good that I want to hear them fully. So this is really, don't worry. This is really, really exciting. I didn't know that children operated at theta state. That's fascinating because, yes, of course, as adults, we've got that critical little gremlin. I'll illustrate the point with this one, saying you can't do that. You're too fat and too old, or whatever, or not good enough, or not this enough, or not that enough. And I just love the simplicity of it. Totally landed for me. It really made sense of when we just lift away the critical gremlin that is always making everything not good. And then all that you as a therapist, I think you're much more than a hypnotherapist, we'll get onto that in a moment, but all that you as a facilitator therapist are doing is then sharing and planting seeds of goodness and positivity into what I sense to be like the innocence, into the subconscious. To me, I sense that as the innocence of the being. Does that land for you?
Yeah, because we become these beings when we're born and we come into the world. We think everything is available to us. We think love is available to us, happiness is available to us, success is available to us. And you know what it is, until our experiences change that, but it's only our thought that changes it.
That's so powerful.
And so we bombard ourselves with all these negative messages and we come up with these very limiting beliefs. And it's only our thoughts. All our beliefs are created by thought. So what we're doing is we're going back and we're reprogramming those thoughts. You know, we spend thousands on reprogramming the software that's our computers, our phones, but rarely do we reprogram the software of our minds. And that is the most outdated, unhelpful software ever.
And the thing is about that is that I've done lots of reprogramming of my beliefs work myself, but nothing touched what you did. It just didn't touch it, because I thought I'd gone in and reprogrammed all those thoughts that had me being my limited self, you know, all that stuff, all the personal development stuff.
Yeah.
And when I did your process, it was so eye-opening, because it wasn't anywhere near what the places. I just felt that you got to the very core of the issue, and it had nothing. I could never consciously have ever have known the reasons why my behavior was the way it was, the way that you got to speak with my subconscious. It was like, it was the most enlightening thing. I, honest to God, feel completely free now. And Good. I've been trying to sort this out since I was 8 years old.
Yeah. Well, your subconscious knows the reason why. That's all it is. That's exactly all it is. So the whole time. And the work to do at a conscious level is really, really important. Let's not forget that. So all the work that you've done so far is incredibly important. And you've done a great job, but there will always be, with every single unwanted behavior, there will always be an underlying reason why. And your subconscious mind always knows the why. And it's always there in your best interest. Your subconscious mind creates stuff in order to protect you. It does what it thinks you want it to do, and it does a great job of protecting you, and it really, really does do the right job. But it kicks in at a very young age when we can't put things into context. We don't really understand the repercussions of the beliefs that we create. And unfortunately, once we create a belief, it tends to stick, and then we live with that for the rest of our lives. We operate at this subconscious level, and we're not really sure why. So all we did with you was we just unpicked the subconscious reason why, just going back to scenes from your past to find out the why, because you can't fix what you don't understand. Until you understand it, that's when you can fix it.
I mean, that's just really, really liberating. And I just think if there's anybody out there that struggles with weight issues, then, I mean, I've been dieting since I was really young, and diets just go up and down, because whilst diets do solve part of the problem, they don't solve the root cause of the problem. So I think diets or weight support groups, or even healing groups about body and food and body image, in my experience, this work has been really helpful. It's been brilliant for personal awareness. And also it's for me, from my experience, it's been a really good management tool. So it manages the symptoms and it keeps everything in a safe box. However, even when I was doing all of that work, I did 12-step sort of work and healing work, every kind of healing you could imagine, and lots of diets and lots of things like this. It just didn't get to the root cause, and it didn't solve the problem. And what you do, Emily, is you really support the intrinsic wisdom of the person to solve the problem. So another empowering thing is that you don't, as Emily Hall solves your problem, you help the person, the entire person, the being of the person, to solve their context.
Yeah, I'm just the enabler. So your subconscious mind knows everything, and that's, I just help you find out that reason. My programs are not about dieting. You will never diet on my program. Absolutely not. You're not going to be calorie counting. You're not even going to be thinking about food. That is just out, way, way, way. That is not what I'm all about at all. I'm about changing the thought. That is it. And so many of my clients, they just don't think about food. Once they've gone through the program, they don't think about food. With the lockdown, I've had messages from clients who would have really struggled before. I'm just saying, this is a walk in the park, because I just don't have that urge to emotionally overeat.
That's I mean, that's so amazing.
The important part is they're not doing that restrictive calorie counting.
Yeah, exactly.
That awful struggle day by day.
They're not white knuckling it.
Yeah, and not feeling terrible about themselves if they've had a piece of cake.
That was me.
Yeah, on my program, you can have a piece of cake if you want to have
she had her cake and ate it.
Yeah,
she had her cake and ate it.
But what you won't do is, it won't be out of your control.
Yeah,
you will have your piece of cake and you will feel satisfied by that, because you've changed the thought, you've fixed the underlying reason why.
And tell me some of your success stories, like how much weight have people... I obviously didn't have a lot of weight to lose, which was interesting, so I was an unusual client for you, but what I really wanted to lose was the fear of what I was eating, and fear of putting on weight, and fear just not feeling safe in my body. Mm-hmm. So it's slightly different, but have you had clients that have lost a lot of weight?
Yeah, so I work mainly with clients who are very overweight. very, very overweight. And the success I have is phenomenal. And you know, one of the things that really sticks in my mind is a message I got from a client. She got rid of about a stone, I think, at this point. I think she was in week 4 or 5 of the program, and so she was pretty overweight when she came. I think she's probably had 7 stone to get rid of, but she'd got rid of a stone, and she sent me this message from her holiday. And she was in her 50s, and she said, you know, for the first time ever, she said, I've just spent the day out on the boat with a group of people that I don't know. So it just occurred to me when I came back that I've spent the whole day in my swimming costume, and I never even thought about it. And she'd never done that in her entire life. In over 50 years, she'd never, ever done that. She'd never had the confidence to do that. So this isn't just about getting rid of the weight. It's also about having confidence and actually liking yourself, and God forbid, love yourself.
I mean, that's why people yo-yo diet though, isn't it? Because you lose the weight, say 2 stone or whatever, and then it's like, oh, look at my perfect size 10. And then because the subconscious isn't in alignment with I love and appreciate, or let's not go there with love, but I accept myself and appreciate myself, and I accept and receive this lovely size 10 body. So then the unconscious, because it's not in alignment with that, just start to put it on again, or the metabolism will just go, woo, slow down, put on the weight,
belief,
because the subconscious needs to just feel safe in that belief, like you say, right?
And there will be many different beliefs that people have. You know, I saw a client once, and we go back to scenes from his past, and to find out why the subconscious has created what it's created. And his reasoning was that he was very, very sad. He was abused as a child. So his subconscious kicks in and says, I'm going to make you fat and ugly so nobody wants you.
Yeah.
Which actually your subconscious is doing its job. It's there, it's protecting you. But then when you've got that belief, when you get rid of the weight, when you're feeling vulnerable and you know, and a bit out of place or whatever, then that subconscious kicks in. Yeah, you might have got rid of some weight, but that belief is so strong. So you have to go back and find out what the belief is in order to fix it. And that's why diets fail. You know, 99% of diets fail.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you're fighting something. You're fighting an emotional issue with rational thought. And until you get to the emotion, you're just onto a losing battle.
And actually, in my case, the root cause of the issue wasn't anything to do with food or body or anything like that. It was another issue. So do you work with other issues that are not weight related? So for example, anxiety, or good old give up smoking, or other things?
Yeah, I do. I specialize in weight. I specialize in anxiety, depression, self-confidence, self-esteem, those kind of issues. Probably because they're the issues that I've had. So I really, really can resonate with those. But I do see people for other issues. For stop smoking, even with stop smoking, we go back and we find out what the belief is. You know, for some people, the belief is, I had a client once, and his belief was that it reminded him of his grandfather. So
that's so gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean,
it's really gorgeous. Yeah, I get that. And
phobias, you know, I see people for those things, but I love working with weight clients, working with anxiety and depression. It's so freeing for people. It's just absolutely transformative for people.
Well, and I think you're an angel.
Lucky to be doing it. I'm lucky to be doing it. I love this job, and I just love working with my clients, giving them the best.
Well, I think you're the best. I think you're simply I really thank you. Seriously, I can't find the words. This is on camera. This is going out to the world. Maria, thank you so much. Emily, I really think you're a miracle worker. And I just think you're one of these beautiful gems in the world that are humble and unseen. Excuse this very loud motorbike going past. It's just trumping all over our gorgeous interview. You're just and this is one of my heartfelt intentions with celebrating you, to just find these beautiful gems in the world and just to go, hey world, look at this beautiful gem. And so often they're beautifully humble people that you'd never know that they did what they did. And I'm so very grateful to have found you and to share you with the world.
Thank you. That's so nice to hear. And actually, just on that point, and this is kind of for anybody watching, really. You know, there was a time when I really was kind of really down at this low point, and I really didn't like myself. And there was a time when, if somebody had said that compliment, I would have found it incredibly uncomfortable. But actually now, because I've done a lot of work on myself, and this is where I want my clients to be, and actually, yeah, we should be celebrating ourselves. What's to celebrate? So yeah, so I really, really appreciate that compliment, and I take it very well. Thank you.
Having it.
Very kind of you to say. And it's funny because when we did first meet, you were quite surprised about what I did, weren't you?
Well, you were kind of the only person I warmed to in that meeting. I thought, right, I'll latch onto her and take her around the corner for a coffee and just have a chat. And yeah, we just connected just on a really human level. You're just very down to earth. And if anyone's scared of a therapist, it does sound very scary. I just want you to know Emily is just down to earth, salt of the earth person, very approachable. And that's what's really lovely about you. It's so important to be approachable.
Yeah, and I think probably the least kind of therapy type person. Some people have got, you know, an idea of what if they have never tried therapy before, what they think a therapist is, and I'm probably the antithesis of that, I would think, because, you know, to be honest, I've done every single unwanted behaviour there is, so there is no judgment here, I can promise you that.
Gorgeous. Well, I think that's gorgeous. So tell us how to get in contact with you. What's your website and so on?
Yeah, so my website is www.fresh-forward.co.uk. I've got a Facebook page, which is Fresh Forward Hypnotherapy. You can follow me on LinkedIn under Emily Hall. So yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to get rid of that unwanted behaviour that they've been struggling with for many, many years, you know, lots of my clients are in their 40s, 50s, they've struggled with this. They've seen lots of different therapists, and then they come, as you've said, Maria, they come and actually they find out that root cause. So if anybody wants to get in touch, then please do. I'm completely approachable. Happy to have a chat. You know, I would never, ever, ever push anyone into doing something they don't want to do. So I just want to make that clear as well. I'm more than happy. You know, I need it to be right for my clients, and they need to be comfortable with me. So just have an initial chat.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And I'll paste all your links underneath this video. Thank
Brilliant.
you so much, Emily, for giving your time today to share such wonderful and inspiring things. And I really do know this will help many people.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you.
My pleasure.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.